What is reproduction?
Ma'am, is it like when two like organisms try to reproduce to form a new organism?
Yes, the production of new organism, right?
Yes, ma'am.
The creation of new living beings. And here we will talk first. We will see the chapter checklist. Okay, we will talk about fundamentals of reproduction, then types of reproduction, right? The various types, various animals have various body designs, right? So the types of reproduction will be different for different organisms. Then modes of asexual reproduction, then sexual reproduction in human beings. Okay, then
Yes.
we'll talk about the significance of sexual reproduction, then reproductive health. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
and we'll also talk about sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Okay, now what's the use of this reproduction?
Ma'am, so that like the generation that we don't go exist, like we don't go extinct, so then they can like
Yeah,
set the generation population.
yeah, it ensures continuity, right?
Yes, ma'am.
It ensures continuity of life on earth. Okay, and does it require for the individual? Is it necessary for individual?
Yes, ma'am. Maybe like
No.
some bacteria, no.
Reproduction is necessary for the individual, like
Yeah,
it is
they like for
essential.
unicellular organisms. Yeah. Maybe.
Okay, yes. For unicellular organism, you can say that because the cell division and the reproduction is same for that, right? It is synonymous. What about multicellular organisms?
Yeah, it's definitely necessary for them also.
Okay, how?
Because so that obviously so that we can like keep the what do you say population, and they also need to reproduce so that their species can also be there, right?
Really?
Maybe. I mean, I'm not sure. So.
No, reproduction for individual, right? For us, when we are talking about us, for individual, it is not essential. The essential process is our life process, which we have talked about, right? The nutrition, respiration, growth, and excretion. See, you have seen in your life, many of them will not get married and they don't reproduce all that, right? So it is not essential for living, right?
Yes, ma'am.
For maintaining life on earth, but for the species, right, it is very important. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so what are the things for the continuation of the of life on earth? Okay, then addition of new species, because it will create variation, and replacement of the dead organisms. Okay, then transfer of adaptation and variation from one generation to another. So
Yes, ma'am.
these are the things. So the basic event in the reproduction is the creation of DNA copy and additional cellular apparatus. What is that?
I'm not sure about the cell apparatus meaning.
Yeah. First, the DNA copy will be created inside an
Yes, ma'am.
organism, right? Right. After that, it has to have a cell, right? It has to have a cellular component,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
That's what it is saying. So the basic event in reproduction will be the creation of a DNA copy and additional cellular apparatus. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
where the created new DNA copy is kept, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So now we various organisms use different modes of reproduction. The two modes of reproduction are
Sexual and sexual reproduction.
yes, sexual and asexual reproduction. Do you know what DNA is made up of?
Is it I'm not sure.
Yes, you can see here DNA is made up of, these are the bases. Okay, adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine. Okay,
Okay.
And we also have a sugar. This is the sugar, and this is the phosphate, and this is the base.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, Safiya. Good evening. Okay. Now these three parts, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? They make up. They are called as nucleotides. So this the number numerous, right? Numerous nucleotides make up DNA.
Okay.
Okay. And the structure of DNA, it will be like this.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. This adenine will bind with thymine, and guanine will bind with cytosine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, why here the variation will occur?
Ma'am, I'm not sure. Is it
You're not
because
sure.
is it like so then they can like even they can even like when the conditions are not like safe, they can still survive?
Yes, that's the reason variation occurs. That's one of the reason. The I mean, how does the variation occur? That one.
Maybe like when the DNA is like happening then.
Yes, DNA. Okay, DNA has a particular sequence, right? That is called gene.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
that gene is like functional, structural function unit of the this DNA. Okay, here what will happen? This gene, right? It it will what it will do? It will produce. It will go. It will produce RNA. Then RNA will produce what? Protein.
Fruit.
This protein will carry out all the steps. Protein or enzymes, whatever. Okay. So this mRNA, from this DNA to mRNA, that process we call as transcription. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
And from mRNA to the protein, right? That is our translation. So this protein is essential, right, for all the life forms. So if here in the gene, right, there is some changes, then what will happen? Right, the mRNA which it will produce, right, it won't be produced, or it will produce different type of variation, right? So
Yes,
the
ma'am.
variation will occur at gene. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Now the importance of variation which you have talked about, what is that?
If like the conditions are not suitable, then they can still survive.
Yes, suppose here we have given the example. See, if variation occurs in few individual of this population, there would be chances of survival of individual. Example, in a population of bacteria living in temperate water, okay, the water is moderate. Okay, if the temperature increases due to global warming, most of the bacteria would die, but the variant which are resistant to heat would survive and grow further. So
Yes.
there will be many bacteria, right, in water. The water temperature is moderate, then the temperature is increasing due to global warming. What will happen? The bacteria will die, because in that and but the variants which are resistant to heat, right, would survive. So there are many bacteria. In that few bacteria, right, they are born, their gene will be different somewhat. Okay, so they will be highly resistant to heat. Huh? So
Yes.
these bacteria will survive, and they will go on to reproduce and continue its species. Okay, so this will be essential for survival of the species. Understood? Any doubt
Yes.
here,
No, ma'am.
Apia?
Yes, ma'am. I wasn't here at the beginning.
Yeah, what doubt do you have
Yeah, ma'am, about DNA.
about DNA, right?
Yeah.
So this DNA, right, the we have, see, we the changes, right, the events in reproduction, what will happen? Our body, right, it has the DNA. Okay, which will be helpful, right, for the reproduction, which we get from the parents, right? So here the DNA is because of which the characters, right, is shared. It will go on to next generation. Okay, it is inherited, like this DNA molecules. Okay, so the DNA which I have talked about, in this DNA molecule there are three parts. Okay, one is the sugar, and the other one is phosphate, and the other one is base. So this base, right, this base, we have four types of base, right? This sugar and phosphate will be same. Okay, but the base, right, it will be different. Like for example, here we have adenine, here we have cytosine, like that. Okay, so this DNA molecules, this DNA, okay, this is our DNA, it will be double stranded. Okay, now here the variation will occur, right? How the variation is occurring? Because DNA will have functional structural unit called gene. Here only the variation will occur. This gene, right, this gene, gene is made up of DNA. The DNA will form mRNA, by which process? Transcription. And after that, mRNA will form protein by translation. And this protein are enzymes will carry out all the life processes. Okay, all the metabolisms, which will ensure the processes in our body. Okay, now the variation, if it occurs here in this, what will happen, right? The mRNA sequence will be changed. Because of that, there will be right, no translation, no making of the protein. So there will be some changes. Okay, so there will, and there is also importance of variation, right? You understood about the importance of variation? Okay, now did you understand DNA? So this DNA, right, it is source of information which goes on to one generation to next generation. Okay, now we'll talk about the asexual reproduction, the modes of reproduction. Okay, there are two types of reproduction, that is asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Okay, now you can see here, in the sexual reproduction, which organism reproduce by this process? Can you tell, Roshni? Roshni?
Ma'am, is it bacteria? Amoeba?
Amoeba, yes, the unicellular organisms, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
and also Hydra, all the unicellular organisms. Okay, now this, in this asexual reproduction, right, there is no requirement of two parents, right? One parent is enough. Okay, and there won't be any fusion of gametes. What is gametes? It is the sex cells. Okay, from which, right, from male and female, the sex gametes, right, they'll fuse and they'll form zygote. From that, a new individual will be formed. Okay, now this, in sexual reproduction, there won't be any requirement of gametes fusion, also gamete fusion. Then the, in asexual reproduction, there will be rapid mode of reproduction. And next we'll talk about the one more thing. In asexual reproduction, right, the individual will be same as the parent, like a clone. Okay, in asexual reproduction. Now in sex, yes, yes, no, there won't be variation, there won't be any variation. And in the sexual reproduction, right, here the this mode of reproduction is common in multicellular organism. Okay, here male and female individual, what they will do, right, they will produce new organism by fusion of gametes. So the example, we have humans, dogs, cat, fishes, frogs, all that. Now characteristic of this is sexual reproduction will be rapid mode, not rapid mode. And cell division involves meiosis. at some special stages. Okay, especially during gamete formation. Now, what is meiosis? Here, in asexual reproduction, there is involvement of mitosis, and here, in sexual reproduction, there is involvement of meiosis during the gamete formation. So, what is meiosis and mitosis?
I'm not sure. I mean, like, I think I forgot.
In ninth, I think you would have studied.
Ma'am, is it like where like one cell? I'm not sure, ma'am. One cell like divides into. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
that is cell division only. But there are two types of cell division. One is mitosis, the other one is meiosis. So in the mitosis, the diploid cell will be produced, and in the meiosis, haploid cell will be produced. Now, what is haploid? Only there will be only one copy of the chromosome. What is chromosome then? What is chromosome? Yes, the condensed form of DNA molecule. Okay. So in haploid, only one copy of each chromosome will be produced. Okay. And in the diploid, right, there will be two copy, one from the parent, like mother, and other from the father. Okay. Now here you can see, right? Here you have four, right? And here only two. Because of this, there will be variation. Here, no variation. Did you understand? In the meiosis, one set of chromosome you're getting from father, the other set you're getting from mother. Okay. So there will be difference here, right? But in this case, only one parent is involved, only one set of chromosome is there. So there won't be any variation. Understood? And this meiosis, right, in the in humans and all the organism, it will occur only during the gamete formation, the egg and the sperm. During those formation, this meiosis will occur. Any doubt here, Roshni and Safia and Rudnin? Next, the asexual modes of reproduction. Okay, what are the types? You can see here we have fission, fragmentation, regeneration, budding, vegetative propagation, tissue culture, spore formation. So first we'll go for the fission. What is fission? This fission, right, they will occur in the unicellular organism. What will happen here? The organism, right, it will split into one organism will split into two or more organism. Okay, two daughter cells. So in binary fission, what will happen? One organism will split into two daughter cell where it will grow, right? Then here, what will happen? It will again split into two daughter cells like this. So how is this happening? This happens in amoeba. Okay. Here we have parent cell. First, the nucleus will divide. Then the cytoplasm will divide, and it will become two individual daughter cells, right? This is binary. Okay. Now, what is this? What is this? First, we have to see this. Here, the splitting, right? This division, it will occur in any direction. Any direction you can split. Okay. But in this case, right, the splitting is occurring here, dividing. This you can see here, only in this direction, right? And what is this organism? This is Leishmania. Okay. What is Leishmania? It is unicellular organism, right? And it is, do you know Kala Azar disease? Roshni, Safia, and Rudnil?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, what happens in that disease?
It's caused by protozoa, I think.
Yes, this the protozoa name is this Leishmania. Okay, and this in the Leishmania, what happens here? Also, binary fission will occur. Okay, this binary fission, right? Here, any direction it can occur in the amoeba, but in this Leishmania, it will occur here only. Right? There will be definite orientation. Okay, understood? This Kala Azar, right? What will happen here is the liver, right? Its size will increase, and the spleen yeah, this size, the size of that will also increase, and there will be cough, and there will be fever. Okay, whenever you find a child whose stomach will be bulging, right, that that person may be having less kala azar. Okay, and they will be having pustules in their faces everywhere. Okay, now next we'll talk about the multiple fission. So here in multiple fission, what happens? You can see here is the nucleus. Okay. The next thing here, right? This is the parent cell. After that, many nucleus, right, will be formed, will split into two like this, right? Many nuclei. After that, each nuclei will form cytoplasm. So this will form many daughter cell, and after that this cell will burst open. Then all the daughter cell will be released. Okay. Then they will grow into adult. Okay. This usually happens in unfavorable conditions. Okay. This we will call as cyst. Okay. Understood, Roshni?
Yes, ma'am.
Which organism does this occur in?
Yeah. This thing, this will occur in plasmodium. Okay, and in amoeba, right, when it is unfavorable condition, then it will occur. Okay, and what is plasmodium?
Ma'am, it's like a parasite, like a malarial.
Yes, malarial parasite. Okay, what will be lacking in malaria? When malaria happens, right, what happens to our body? Which cells will be deficient? Any guesses? Sophia and Rudanil, we have talked about this. Platelets. Okay. Next, it is fragmentation. What happens in fragmentation?
It's like the breaking of the body into like two or more pieces after maturing.
Yes, it is breaking our body into smaller pieces, and this will occur in Spirogyra. Then, what about regeneration?
It's getting back the full part of it.
Yes, this occurs in Hydra and Planaria, right? Have you seen this platforms? In the ninth class, you have studied, I think, about this platform, right? Suppose this is the platform. Then, if we are cutting this, right, from here or here, what will happen? This will form new platform, planaria, and this part, right, it doesn't have head or the tail part, but it will form a new organism. Okay, and this tail will also form. So, in planaria, this is the mode of reproduction. Then budding, budding. What is bud in this case? What is bud? It is small outgrowth. Okay. Now in budding, it usually occurs in hydra like this. And after this, what will happen? So, the diagram I drew. Okay. Now here bud is formed. After that, what will happen? New hydra. Then this baby hydra will split from the parent body. Okay. In the yeast also this budding happens. Next, vegetative propagation. What about that? Example, can you guess? See here, new plants are obtained from parent plant part. That is vegetative propagation, not from the reproductive structure. Okay, from leaves, stems, right? From there, the new part is formed. A new plant is formed. And can you give me the example which you usually see? Common example? Roshni, Safia,
Examples of what?
example of vegetative propagation?
Ma'am, like the bud of a potato.
Yes, correct. Great. And Safia?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, tell me example.
When we cut the stem of a rose.
Yes, yes, correct. Okay, and there are many different ways. Okay, in the next class, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to this fission I have completed fully: fragmentation, regeneration, budding, vegetative propagation, tissue culture, spore formation. These things, right? In the next class, I'm going to explain in detail. Okay, Now time is over. So do you have any doubt? Anyone, any doubt? You can ask me.
No, ma'am.
Roshni?
No doubt, ma'am.
Okay. Rudnil? Okay, then the previous lessons, right? You can keep on revising, okay? That life processes and control and coordination. And if you have any doubt, you can ask me. You can also WhatsApp me, okay? Okay, thank you guys. Bye bye. Take care. See you in the next class.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.